Oh yeah, we're back at it. Back at it. Welcome, folks. Thank you. Welcome to my whatever the this is called. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Do I care? No. But thank you for being here. Screw all the intros, screw all the formalities. It's good you're here. If you're not here, go yourself. This is the only place where I'm going to talk about my personal life anymore. I'm not going to put out anything for the freeze. I'm not going to put out anything for the freeze. Like if my family texts me and says, "Hey, what have you been up to?" I'm not going to respond to it. I'm just going to say, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing good." If you really want to know the sagas of me, pounding tortas, then go listen to my podcast, Grandma. If you really want to know how my life is, Aunt Cheryl, go listen to my podcast and hear me talk about the Jews, okay? I don't need you hitting my phone and asking me personal questions when you can go and listen to my podcast, okay? Grandpa Doug. And you can hear me talking about how we shouldn't be letting so many Muslims in the country because they can't integrate into Western society. Although I do think that there's been a slight psyop with the Muslim thing because for generations, we've been fed through the Jewish media all our Jewish TV and TV programming. And they don't like the Muslims, right? If you really think about it, the Muslims are pretty based. I mean, like, they don't let women drive. They'll chop a thief's hand off. So I kind of like the Muslims, all right? No Muslim has ever charged me $30 for spending money that I don't have, What the hell's an overdraft fee, huh? Can I get a Jewish brother to help me out with that? Like, how are you going to charge me a fee for not having money, Who thought of that, huh? Which frickin' Bravlosky thought of that? What evil bastard sat there when they was like, "Oh, we can do? If they don't have enough money in their checking account, we'll charge them more money." Do you know that Jews don't have to pay? They don't have to pay interest on loans, like in the Torah. Is that what it's called? There's the Quran and there's the Torah, right? Yeah, in the Torah, Jewish law, you're not allowed to lend to a Jew with interest. And what does that tell you? That tells you that interest is bad, that interest is inherently evil. So why would the Jewish bankers not be allowed to lend to other Jews with interest? They're only allowed to lend to the Goy. Now, this is what this has made me realize, okay? I've always kind of rolled my eyes at black people's gripe about America, acting like victims, right? But the things that black people are saying are true. They're just misdirected. Because I'm always like, bro, I'm not doing anything to you. I work a blue-collar job. What are you talking about? If I'm oppressing you, that says something about you, all right? But the thing is, like, black people can't tell Jews and white people apart. Because that's the whole Jewish thing, is like they blend in with the white people. They're like, oh, we need all this diversity so they can blend in with the white people and then just, suck off the, the things. You guys saw that article recently where it's like the Tel Aviv Times was talking about like, oh, Israel's future is with China or with Asia because we've already sucked dry the West. We've already charged all the overdraft bank fees. We've already gotten all the interest, It's so wrong. Why do they allow foreigners to buy property in the United States? I've never understood that. My ex-girlfriend, she worked for a mortgage company, and she would just tell me, like, there was this guy, his last name was an Indian guy. His last name was Shitoli, shithole. He was just buying up all the properties in Seattle. Some millionaire in India didn't even live here. He's just buying up all the properties and looking to rent them out. And as Americans, we got to be like, oh, yeah, please, let's all be inclusive. We need all this, this cultural enrichment. Let's let the Chinese and Indians buy up all our properties. Meanwhile, then we'll let all the black people hate us because they think we're doing all the bullshit. The fuck are we doing, bro? I even tried, dude. We've been so programmed from the beginnings of our lives, right? Like I remember the movie Saving Private Ryan, and my mind That's my favorite movie, and I tried to watch it the other night, and right off the rip, I just saw all like the Jewish propaganda. It was crazy. And I know it's a World War II thing, and World War II really surrounds a lot of like what happened to the Jews. And I don't have an issue with Jewish people, right, as the faith or the race or whatever. I have a problem with the state of Israel. And I'm like, oh, that's the new popular thing, sure, but why are we funding this, dude? I don't know anybody that can afford fuck all. And we're sending billions of money to the interests of Israel, right? That's crazy. But even like think about all the movie studios. Like I didn't even know the president of Argentina. I didn't even know he was Jewish. Who the fuck is this Scheinbaum lady in Mexico? All the Nobel Prize winners, they're all Jewish. So it's like all the gripes, all the things I hear black people talking about. Now I'm starting to see them. I'm starting to wake up to the black people gripe of America, but I'm starting to realize, oh my God, their gripe is valid. It's just I've been taking it personal, like it's directed at me. But then I realized, wait, no, it's actually at these people, and they can't tell these people apart from me. And then these people making all the news, you know, these people, they own all the news outlets. They own all the movie studios. They own all the media, right? And all the politicians. So then they divert it to white blue collar working people. So then those white people are like, oh, well, I'm tired of the black people blaming me for shit. So now these people are at each other, right? And like the immigrants, everybody, they're like, oh, well, let's keep all the goy fighting with each other. Is goy just white people, or is it just somebody that isn't Jewish? What is a goy? A term used by Jewish people for a non-Jewish person. Yeah. Is there any other religion or anything that has a term for people that aren't them? Like there's derogatory terms about other groups of people in every language, right? But is there a derogatory term for somebody that just isn't you? It's like everything they talk about white supremacy is just Zionism, right? That's all it is, dude. But anyways, dude, it's so frustrating too, because sometimes you know, like the shit will come up with like older people, boomers, like even my dad or something will be like, oh, what you need to, you know, they're so just brainwashed. They're so just programmed, you know? Like my mother had this saying, you can bend a stick, but you can't bend a tree. And that's how I feel like talking to the boomers about the whole Israel shit. And it's not, I don't even know, dude. When people use words like anti-Semitic or racist or xenophobic or homophobic, I'm just like, ugh, I don't care, dude. I really don't give a shit, to be honest. Like, I'm never going to not have a day job because there's no amount of money you could pay me to not speak freely. And it's so absolutely cringe when you get on the internet because you can just tell who is bought from every angle. It is so incredibly apparent who is bought and who's being paid to say things, because it doesn't matter how much logic you get. Smart people, some of them I know personally, smart people with nothing but facts dumped upon them, but they're getting paid to just regurgitate whatever NPC thing that they need to say to counteract the facts coming at them, you know? And there's no amount of money you could pay me to do that. Like whenever I have a video that really pops off or something, I start getting emails about, you know, whatever type of little brand deals, this and that. Like here's $300 to talk about a SIM card or something, you know? I get a bunch of these little things, and I don't take any of them because I can't take myself serious. Like I think back when I had, you know, my first like 500 followers, when I was still talking to every single person, and I'm like, well, what would these people think if me, the same guy that's talking about, you know, butthole Biden and all this weird shit, and starts slanging 20% coupons off, I don't know, off selfie sticks, you know? I can't do it. I'd rather work a day job and make moderate money in that and be able to say whatever I want on the internet. If I get demonetized or whatever, who cares, dude? I mean, I would care because it's a nice extra income, but I don't know, dude. I just feel like the people that are just in constantly being controlled by somebody else paying them, you can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on speaking your mind, you know? Maybe some people don't care about that. I guess the whole point in life is to just put as much distance between yourself and the fucking degenerates as you possibly can. Now, in a perfect world, I would say whatever I want, and I would have enough money. I could do the Kanye thing. I could say whatever I want, and I could have billions of dollars put between myself and the degenerates. But I still have to kind of watch myself. That's why in real life, I just don't argue with anybody, and I don't say anything. You know what I mean? Act like one of these Gen Z people at work. Just giving you guys heard about the Gen Z stare? The Gen Z stare, I guess, is an actual thing, and a lot of managers, a lot of, Gen X, Boomer, even millennial managers having trouble with Gen Z because they're giving customers the Gen Z stare. And I kind of stand with Gen Z in this because I think we should cut out a lot of the fake shit. But also, it blows my mind whenever, like, I went to Mod Pizza the other day and all the young kids working, they just looked miserable. Now, when I was in high school, I worked at a pizza place. I worked at Alfie's Pizza with a bunch of buddies, and we had a freaking blast. We'd be just making ourselves calzones. I don't think they had booze. No, we weren't even drinking booze. We would just be like making gross soda concoctions, trolling customers. We were having a blast. Every like stupid kiddie retail type job I've ever had. I mean, it sucked, but I was great friends with all the people I was working with, and we made it fun, because we just kind of, I don't know. I think there's this thing with the Gen Z where they see their peers making $6 million a month off showing their butthole for, 1989. They think, oh, I'm not doing that well. And I think in general, a lot of people are very insecure about their incomes and things like that because you only see, like, back when I was growing up, you would compare yourself to the most popular, richest kid in school, right? Now you're comparing yourself to the whole entire world, and that's crazy. So these kids are all like, they don't have a grasp on reality. We got to save these kids, They have 0% idea even what reality is because they're so enthralled by the 0.001% of things they see on the internet. And even I get kind of shook up on it, dude. Like, I follow this slut named Brecky Hill on Snapchat. At least I did, but I deleted it. And she was on a private plane, and some guy busted out his DJ equipment on the airplane. And I was like, this is fucked. If I was a 20-year-old and I saw that, I'd be like, my life is over. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, if you tell me, oh, you could end the Israeli-Palestine conflict, or you could make sure that there's never, ever a DJ on an airplane ever again, I'd be like, I would make sure that there's never a DJ on an airplane ever again, because I will never visit the Gaza Strip, but I will for sure be on an airplane again, even though they're crashing. But, I think that's all. We haven't heard about any airplanes crashing recently, so I think, oh, no, that's a lie. I think, because there's one that went down in, like, Bangladesh, but it was Indian, so nobody really cared. And then, what was the other one? I forget, dude. They always go down in, like, these third world countries where, the pilots don't know, like, a spoon from a fork. And then the maintenance people are just, like, they don't know what they're doing. And then they want to blame Boeing, like, let's say you go buy Mitsubishi, right? You go buy a brand new car, and you don't maintain it at all for 3 years. You never get any oil checks. You don't change the spark plugs. You don't rotate the tires. You don't put air in the tires. And then you let some DEI driver's license holder, you let some, like, dumb lesbian go and drive your car, and she wraps it around a phone pole. And then we all are like, oh, Mitsubishi built a terrible car. No, it's that she was retarded, and the person who owned the car treated it like shit, which is what's happening with, like, these Malaysian airlines and the DEI pilots and the Boeing planes. It's not like anything's really wrong with the Boeing planes. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't talk about that because I'm going back to work for Boeing. Yeah, bruh. I'm supposed to be moving to South Carolina in a month. And it's making me nervous. It's unsettling because I think I'm going to get rid of all my stuff. This is something I've been grappling with a lot lately. I think I'm going to get rid of all my stuff so when I just drive down there, and I can't imagine what it's like having a family, because even just having a cat is fucking crazy, Because If I didn't have a cat, I'd be just like, oh, just drive down there and I'll just sleep in my car for a couple nights. It'd be all right. I'll survive. I'm a survivor. Because I don't want to get a place without ever seeing it, and I don't have time to go down there and scope shit before I start. And I still need to pay, basically, I still need to pay 2 months of rent on my apartment when I won't even be living there, plus the lease cancellation. So I need to pay the deposit for a new place, first month's rent at that place, whatever that is, then 60 days rent of my old place, plus breaking the lease. You know, so I'm in at like $5,000-$6,000 just to move, and that doesn't even count the move. That doesn't even take into effect gas, or if I, that's the thing, like if I take my stuff, I got a quote for a pod and it was another $4,000 just to bring my crap, and it's like, am I going to spend $4,000 to bring a bunch of shit I don't even care about, or am I just going to get rid of it and start over and sleep on an air mattress again? And this is something that's really been frustrating me, okay? Because I've bought like 5 mattresses in the last 10 years. I've bought way too many mattresses because I'm always moving the mattresses, you know? And I haven't sold any of them. I just have all these mattresses stained with different pussy juice and my own shit. I got so hammered recently. I haven't been to the bar since. Usually I drink ranch waters, right? Which is just tequila and soda water. But I went to the bar and I started ordering old fashions, and I started getting drunk with the owner of the bar, actually. And he was drinking old fashions. I was like, fuck it, I'll get some old fashions. And it's not a bar, it's like a nice cocktail lounge. And the weird thing about me is I have a very high alcohol tolerance, even though I don't drink a lot. I think it's just because I come from a long line of drinkers. But I was putting them bitches the fuck down, dude. And then I got home, and I didn't even realize how hammered I was. And I'm taking a piss, and my shower's right next to my toilet. I take a wrong step, and I fall in the bathtub. And now I fall in the bathtub with all my clothes on and my pants around my ankles and whatnot. And I can't get out of the tub. So now I start panicking. I'm like, oh, my God. And I start getting really, like, just drenched in sweat, hypochondriac. Like, oh, my God, do I have alcohol poisoning? I can't move. I need to get my stomach pumped. And I'm like reaching for my phone because I was going to call 911 and I can't find my phone. So now I'm laying in the tub with my pants around my ankles, looking for my phone, can't find it. And I also can't get my clothes off because I'm still wearing my shoes and shit too, but I can't physically stand up. So I'm trying to wrestle off all my clothes. And then in the midst of it, I just have a panic attack, start puking. I just like, start puking on myself. So now I'm covered in puke. I'm laying in the bathtub, hammered, can't get myself up. And I was like, you know what? I just need to go to bed. I just need to sleep. So then I turn on the shower, wash off the puke from me that I can while I'm laying down. I wrestle my clothes off finally, and then I let the water rinse the puke off me as I'm laying there. And I wake up after a while in the shower. I could have drowned, probably. I could have drowned. And then I wake up and I realize I'm like at least mobile now. I'm still really hammered, but at least I'm mobile. So I get out, I brush my teeth, I dry off, I do whatever. I go to bed. I'm butt-ass naked, right? I'm butt-ass naked. I stumble my way to bed, hammered as I've ever been. And then I wake up in the morning, and my ass kind of itched. I was like, why is my butt so itchy? And then so I go to the bathroom. And at this point, I'm like, oh, damn, I'm not even hungover. Because at this point, I was just normal drunk. After sleeping for like 6 hours, I was just normal drunk. I was so hammered, I didn't realize when I woke up drunk that I was still drunk. But for the fact that I wasn't hungover, I knew something was up. And I wiped my ass, and I realized I'd shit myself in bed. I literally shit the bed. After puking myself in the shower, I went to bed so hammered that I didn't have control over my bowels. And I shit the bed. And I haven't drank since. That's when I realized, you know what? Maybe alcohol is not my friend. You know, we have a lot of friends in life, but sometimes the alcohol just ain't your friend, and that's okay. Anyways, please like or something, you know, or don't. I really don't care, to be honest with you. But I appreciate you being here if you're here, and I will talk to y'all muffs next week. Sub, like, do all the things on everything, or don't, whatever. And adios, amigos. Peace.